Well, unfortunately, like I said, music industry isn't being run by musicians. So it's being run by accountants and lawyers.
A civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include JayZ.
JayZ is being accused of a minor along with Diddy at a MTV VMAs after party back in 2000.
There's a disintegration going on that we really have to address. Our values have been lessened to a great degree.
To ripple through the music world. A broken industry not run by musicians. Prince often spoke out about the state of the music industry, describing it as being controlled by accountants and lawyers, not artists. He believed this disconnection between creators and decision-makers was eroding the soul of music. His concerns weren't just about profits, but about how the industry structure marginalized true artistry, turning music into a commodity rather than a form of expression. These beliefs led Prince to challenge some of the biggest names in the industry, including JayZ and Diddy. A civil lawsuit against Diddy in October was amended to include JayZ, accusing them of misconduct at an MTV after-party in 2000. While the allegations remain controversial, they have added fuel to discussions about the darker sides of fame and power. Starting with controversy about Prince's warnings about JayZ. Footage of Prince's past interviews reveals a deep skepticism toward JayZ, whom he saw as a gatekeeper in the music industry. Prince believed JayZ wielded his influence to promote certain artists while sidelining others. This concern was echoed in their professional relationship, which began with promise but ended in conflict. The breaking point came with a deal between Prince and JayZ's streaming platform Tidal. Initially, Prince saw Tidal as a platform that could empower artists by offering better revenue-sharing terms. He even allowed Tidal to stream one of his albums for 90 days. However, reports soon surfaced that Tidal was pushing for full control of Prince's music catalog, far beyond the original agreement. This alarmed Prince, who had spent decades fighting for ownership of his work. The battle over Prince's music. Prince was a vocal advocate for artists owning their masters. He believed that without ownership, artists were essentially slaves to the industry. His fight began in the 1990s when he famously wrote "Slave on His Face" to protest Warner Brothers' control over his music. This battle for artistic freedom defined much of Prince's career and influenced his later dealings with JayZ. After Prince's death, Tidal began streaming his entire catalog without proper authorization, leading to a lawsuit from Prince's estate. The move felt like a betrayal of everything Prince had fought for. JayZ's response came in a song where he referenced Prince's death, saying, "Prince left his masters where they are safe and sound. We're never going to let the elevator take him down." While some saw it as a tribute, others felt it was insensitive, given Prince's well-known mistrust of elevators, which he referred to as symbols of evil. Prince's concerns about Diddy and industry exploitation. Prince also had issues with Diddy, whose business practices he viewed as exploitative. Diddy's partnerships with major labels like Warner Music Group, which Prince had long opposed, only deepened the divide between them. Prince was particularly critical of exclusive industry parties hosted by Diddy, which he believed put young artists in vulnerable situations. These gatherings, often disguised as networking events, were rumored to have darker undertones, including allegations of exploitation and coercion. Prince created his own alternative to these events, hosting exclusive gatherings called 3121 parties. These were safe spaces for artists to connect without the pressures and dangers often associated with the mainstream industry.
The time when I was with him privately, he said, "You know what the elevator is, right?" No. I said, "No, what's the elevator?" He said, "Well, the elevator is the devil."
He had witnessed the bigger picture, Prince versus the industry. Prince's clashes with JayZ and Diddy highlight a larger struggle within the music industry, the battle between artistic integrity and corporate control. Prince believed that true artistry was being overshadowed by profit-driven motives. His decision to change his name to an unpronounceable symbol in the 1990s was a direct protest against the industry's ownership of his identity. Prince's warnings extended beyond his own experiences. He spoke about the dangers of centralized power in the music world, where a few influential figures could shape careers and control narratives. His criticisms of JayZ and Diddy weren't personal attacks, but reflections of his broader concerns about the industry's direction, legacy, and lessons. Prince's untimely death in 2016 left many questions unanswered. His fights for artistic freedom, his mistrust of...
And they would always hold this contract up and say, well, you signed it. And I say, well, I understand that. It's not like I want to leave. I just want to, talk about this thing and see if we can't make it more fair.
Legacy serves as a reminder of the cost of standing up to an unjust system. The untold stories of Prince, JayZ, and the music industry's dark side. The music industry has always been a world of power, creativity, and controversy. For decades, stories have circulated about its darker side: hidden exploitation, manipulation, and control. Few artists fought these forces as openly as Prince.
As long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well. The majority will not.
Dangerous dynamics in the music business. Prince's vision for artistic freedom. Prince was deeply passionate about protecting artists from exploitation. He created his own spaces for genuine collaboration and expression through his 3121 gatherings, which offered a stark contrast to the industry's infamous exclusive parties.
It sort of divorced me from the past and all the hang-ups that go along with it.
Why then did you choose the artist formerly known as?
Well, I didn't choose that. That was
Chosen for you.
In contrast, the industry's notorious freak-off parties, often linked to figures like Diddy, painted a different picture. Young artists were reportedly pressured into participating in unethical activities, with drugs and exploitation becoming common themes. Recent allegations against Diddy brought shocking evidence to light, claiming he coerced victims into attending these gatherings, leaving them feeling trapped and dependent on the very system they sought to succeed in. By establishing 3121 as a safe haven, Prince...
Been a group, everybody knows that. They've been a line. If you stand against them, then they sometimes have a problem.
...figures who benefited from maintaining the status quo. Comedian Cat Williams even suggested that Prince's protective actions made him a target, as he disrupted a system designed to exploit young talent. Prince's fight against industry control. Prince's battles weren't limited to creating safe spaces. He spent much of his career fighting for control over his music. His mission was clear: artists should own their work. He famously declared, "If you don't own your masters, your master owns you." In the 1990s, Prince protested against Warner Bros. For owning the rights to his music, even writing "slave" on his face during performances. His fight for freedom led him to change his name to an unpronounceable symbol, a move that allowed him to sidestep his contract and regain some control. This bold stance made him a symbol of resistance against industry exploitation. The title controversy with JayZ. In his later years, Prince's relationship with JayZ became increasingly strained. Initially, the partnership seemed promising. Prince allowed Tidal, JayZ's streaming platform, to stream one of his albums, viewing it as a potential ally in the fight for artist empowerment. However, the deal soured when Tidal reportedly sought full control of Prince's entire catalog, far beyond the original agreement. After Prince's death, Tidal began streaming his entire music catalog without authorization, sparking a legal battle with Prince's estate. Many saw this as a betrayal of everything Prince had fought for. Critics noted that even platforms run by artists could replicate the same exploitative practices they claimed to oppose. JayZ's actions drew widespread scrutiny, with fans revisiting Prince's warnings about the dangers of unchecked power in the music industry. The mystery surrounding Prince's finances.
So I think that we should address this as a community as to what it's doing to the culture.
The discovery of counterfeit pills laced with fentanyl in his home shocked investigators. The toxicology report revealed dangerously high levels of the synthetic opioid in his system, even though Prince had a strong anti-drug stance. Years of performing in high heels had caused severe pain, leading Prince to seek medical treatment for his hips and ankles. he relied on prescription medication under medical supervision to manage the pain. However, investigators found numerous unmarked pills throughout his home, many of which were counterfeit. This discovery painted a troubling picture. Someone had access to Prince's medication supply and had introduced dangerous substances into his environment. A compromised investigation. The investigation into Prince's death revealed significant irregularities. Key security footage from Paisley Park, which could have shown who accessed his property and medications, mysteriously disappeared. Witness accounts of Prince's final weeks were inconsistent. Some described him as paranoid and declining, while others said he was energetic and focused on future projects. Despite these complexities, the official ruling labeled his death an accidental overdose. Authorities didn't thoroughly investigate his canceled shows, emergency landing due to health issues, or his escalating conflicts with the industry. Instead, they quickly concluded their work, leaving many questions unanswered. Prince's legacy and warnings about JayZ. As the controversies surrounding JayZ continued to grow, Prince's warnings about the music industry gained renewed attention. Prince had often criticized the industry for prioritizing profits over artistry and fairness. He called out its transactional nature, where power dynamics overshadow genuine creativity. Clips of Prince shading JayZ's business practices, describing them as cold and exploitative, have resurfaced, sparking debates about whether he foresaw JayZ's rise as a symbol of the industry's issues. Critics argue that JayZ's success came at the expense of true artistry. They view him as a gatekeeper who controls not only artists' careers, but also the narratives we consume. This view aligns with Prince's broader concerns about how the industry strips power from creators and centralizes it among a select few. Two contrasting legacies. Prince and JayZ represent two very different approaches to the music industry. Prince stood as a beacon of independence, fighting tirelessly for artistic freedom and refusing to conform to industry norms. His 3121 gatherings embodied his vision of a world where creativity thrived without fear or exploitation. In contrast, JayZ's journey reflects the mastery of working within the system, using influence and connections to build an empire. While JayZ is celebrated for his business achievements, Prince's legacy serves as a reminder of the sacrifices required to challenge the system. His commitment to protecting younger artists and creating spaces free from exploitation made him a hero to many, but also placed him at odds with powerful forces. Final thought. The story of Prince, JayZ, and the music industry's darker side reveals the complex dynamics of fame, power, and creativity. Prince's warnings about exploitation and manipulation remain as relevant today as they were during his lifetime. His fight for artistic freedom highlights the importance of questioning authority and advocating for fairness in an industry that often prioritizes profit over integrity. As fans revisit Prince's words and reflect on the controversy surrounding JayZ, one thing becomes clear: the music industry is more than just a platform for creativity.